you thought of the name of your first pet.
Uh-huh.
And you didn't, it's important that all the listeners at home realize you and I did not set this up beforehand or anything like that. Okay, so what's the name of your first pet? Say it out loud.
Jet.
Jet? Like J-E-T or 2 T's?
2 T's, like Joan Jett.
Oh, okay. That's good because that's what I wrote down too.
What the? I'm done. That's so crazy. How did you do that? I literally wrote that down earlier.
Hey, Alex, what's up, man?
I did. I wrote it down earlier. Nobody except my mom knows this. Only my mom knows this. That's crazy. Okay, everybody that is watching this, hire Finn. He's crazy.
I will come
That
and
was
read your
worth
mind.
it right
Yeah.
there. Hey, this is Jordan Hill with Dirt to Sky Business Podcast. And thank you so much, SMI Real Estate and Saltwater Wellness, for sponsoring this episode. Finn, I am so excited to have you here.
Well, thank you
Local celebrity.
Thanks for having me. A local celebrity. No, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. No, it's great. I've been on a few podcasts in Salem recently.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know that there was kind of a little podcast area here. So it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. We've been friends on social media for a while, and I
Right.
see a lot of the things you're doing. I hear about a lot of the things you're doing.
Hopefully good things.
So, yeah, you'll never know. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, no, well, because I always like kind of, younger people around my age range and stuff like that or whatever, movers and shakers. I love to get to meet them. Yep. A lot of the times when it comes to what I do when I perform, I have to go up north or down south. So to be able to find other people in Salem who are doing big things that help make our community awesome.
Yeah.
I love to get to know them.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And with Mike, Mike, I get to talk to him about performing and stuff since he does comedy.
Yes.
And so we definitely get to share some experiences. And now that I've been doing it for long enough, because it felt like yesterday I was first kind of getting interested in performing.
Yep.
And then now all of a sudden I turn around and it's like, gosh, I'm giving other people, maybe not Mike, but other people advice.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you're kind of becoming a leader and a mentor of some sort.
Yeah,
Get
exactly.
The community. And
Yeah.
that's so neat.
Exactly. And because, as a professional, because I guess I should say I'm a professional magician and mentalist,
Yes.
and we'll talk about that a little more later, but I get hired to do events, and I get hired to do entertainment for people, and there's a community here in, like, the Pacific Northwest of performers and entertainers. We all get to know each other, and I'm 30 years old. I'm one of those people who is kind of an up-and-comer in our little magician community. And so for other people to see me who are also kind of up-and-coming and to ask for some advice is a real humbling, but really I love it's crazy how things have come. So
wow.
So, yeah, I love it.
That really speaks to you and your work and your character, and that is so awesome.
My parents always said from a young age, though, that I was going to be... Because I had a granny on my dad's side who's was a theater actress. So and her name was Granny Hank, and they always said from well before I was into magic or anything, they were always like, "Oh, you got a little bit of Hank in you." So even from a young age, they always thought something would be in this realm for me.
Right.
And little did we know it was going to be magic and mind reading and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, that leads me to kind of my next question because I'm really curious, and I'm sure those that are listening are. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into finding magic. Yeah.
I'm a Salem local since 2001. I was born in Germany. My dad was in the Air Force, and then we moved here. So Salem's home for me. I lived down in rural West Salem most of my life, and now I live in South Salem. I just love Salem. I love
Oh, yeah.
I just love Salem. So in 2010, when I was 16 years old, I was up in Seattle.
Okay.
And there was a professional full-time magician doing street magic and he was selling DVDs. You can learn the tricks in this, that, and the other. Yes. He was doing his little sales pitch. And this was right before Christmas. We were up there to watch a football game. And all of a sudden, out of my brothers pulled me aside and they introduced me, or they wanted me to see this guy doing card tricks. And most people are there mind blown, holy crap, kind of stuff. They're everyone's really enjoying it, but I'm there and I'm just my life was different after that. It was like he was doing card tricks, and I was like, Mom, Dad, can you buy me this DVD? I don't know. They call it in magic getting bit by the bug. And I got bit by the bug. It's like every magician sees a trick that at some point, and it's so vivid in their head. Keep in mind, this was 14, 15 years ago for me. And I still remember it vividly to this day. And my parents bought me the DVD, and the rest is history.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's just where it started. So,
wow.
There's like 100 people will buy that DVD, and they'll realize, especially when it comes to like card tricks and it's all sleight of hand and stuff. And they realize like there's no button to press, there's no trick deck. It's all like hard work. There's sleight of hand involved. I'm one out of the 100 people who buys that stuff, and I'm like, this makes it so much cooler. One thing turns to another. Next thing you know, years and years ago, there was an old art gallery which was around for not even like 2 months here in Salem. They handed me $50 in like 2016 or so, 2017, to do magic at their opening. So I was a professional. I got handed money to do magic for like 4 people. So I'm a professional now. And then one thing leads to another. One gig turns into 2, turns to 4. And then it was after COVID. That's when I really started in like early 2021, late 2020. That's when I started getting asked to like perform on stage for people. Because before that, I was all up close magic. And now I perform on stage for sometimes up to 350 people.
Oh, my gosh.
It's growing, but, I perform for Fortune 500 companies, Intel, FedEx, Edward Jones. I'm going to be doing a Google gig at the end of the month. So, and then I also do private parties and stuff too. But it's, now it's kind of gone from doing up close magic to now I perform on stage and for people to entertain like after dinner at a corporate event or whatever it might be. Best job in the world.
Yeah, that is so amazing. But not even close. Like not everyone could do it.
No.
And like it takes, a special person that's naturally skilled at that.
Everyone. I get what you mean, and I do agree to an extent. Like not everyone can do it, I guess. It's going to take certain people more time than others to like get comfortable with it. But anyone can do it. I think that anyone, if they felt like, there's going to be like a little voice in your head saying like, I know I can do this. I know I can be on stage. Yeah. Even people who are more like shy and a little bit more reserved, if they have even the slightest bit of like inkling in their mind, like I know I can talk in front of people and I should be, then you can do it. Now, does it take time? Does it take like certain, it takes moxie, yes, but it's definitely plausible and possible for anyone to do. And it gets easier and easier. Yeah, you're good. No, it gets easier and easier too. Yes. So it's I love it, and it's talk about especially for what I do, because obviously not everyone gets on stage and performs. A lot of people get on stage and they might hand out awards, or they might do a presentation or a lecture or something. I fortunately am in a position where what I do is meant to be entertainment. I get rounds of applause, I get laughter, smiles, and stuff like that. So what I fortunately get a large payoff when I'm on stage. Yeah. Having a funny joke or a real funny bit that couldn't be repeated. But so it's really worth it, that adrenaline rush. Having people just react to your presence on stage is really good. And then you start to realize, like, people want to see you succeed. People want, nobody comes to like watch you, no matter what kind of performance you're doing or presentation. Nobody wants to sit there and watch you fail. Nobody. That'd be awkward. That'd be weird.
They're there to watch you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, because I know you do public speaking, and you do, you
get learning.
Yeah. Well,
the skill, like you were talking about, I want it really bad, even though it's not a natural talent. It's a skill that I'm working on so hard.
It's like a muscle. You have to work it out, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that even the most naturally charismatic person you would ever meet, would be that way. They would be, you need to work on it. You need to work on your timing, your pacing, because you almost always, everyone naturally, I think, no matter, 99 out of 100 people, when they get into performing, or I'll keep saying performing, but speaking for groups, they're going to probably be going a tick or two too fast. Most people feel like you just kind of want to rush through it. And when you're able to relax and sit down and smell the roses and take a breath, it makes it better. It makes it a lot better. But those things just come with time. It's, I mean, I've never done real estate like you. I would probably be in like a one-on-one situation trying to sell somebody on a home, I would be like a fumbling mess, you know. But then put me on stage in front of 100 people and I want to make them laugh, then it's like, okay, well, whatever, I'll do it. So everyone has their strengths, but it's definitely obtainable and achievable for sure.
Yeah. So I'm really curious, what is behind the scenes? How do you, when you learn a new trick or create one? Well, first of all, I'm interested in learning if you learn it or you create it, but do you have to practice it with that sleight of hand? Like,
sure.
What goes into it?
So when I perform a new trick, so there's both. That's a great question, honestly. So every kind of full-time performer, like, you know, somebody who performs for audiences, so to speak, a worker, they will always, whether it be a book or like you can buy lectures online or whatever it is, usually I like to get it in book form, because when you watch somebody else perform a trick and then they'll have a little video, here's how it's done, you, even if you try not to do it, you will kind of like wear their shoes, and you'll like kind of put their personality to it, which if you wear somebody else's shoes, they don't fit as well. So you fit in your shoes. Yes. So when you read how something is done, then you can't help but only apply it in your voice and your how you produce it. So because when I was younger, there's a great performer by the name of David Williamson, and he is like you know, in the non-magician world, you know, you think of David Blaine, Penn and Teller, David Copperfield, but then in the magician world, one of the first names that'll pop up is David Williamson. Hilarious. But he's kind of like a grumpy, gets mad at his spectators, but everyone loves it, and he's so good at entertaining and making people are laughing up on stage, and he's calling them names and stuff. See, he inspired me when I first got into this. I start watching his videos. I'm starting to learn his tricks. I do like my worst David Williamson, essentially. And man, I just came across as mean. And it was like, this was when I was young. And then I realized, like, you know, hey, you know, now my voice is a lot kinder. I don't make fun of people and stuff. So that was a good learning lesson. And that was because I was watching his videos versus reading. And then so you start kind of adapting your own flavor and your touch to it.
Right.
Now, when it comes to, let's say that I've gotten my, which usually takes a couple weeks, I guess, maybe a couple months, depends on the routine. Now, let's say you have a routine that you've scripted and you've kind of worked through it in your own office or your workshop. Now it's time for me to take it out somewhere. I'm not going to go take this on stage in front of 300 people at like a big corporate event. I'm going to go take it to open mics, where whether it be a comedy open mic or whether it be a music open mic, whether it be a little bit of both. You know, you go and take it up and down the I-5 from Albany to Woodburn. I can find any given night of the week, I can find an open mic.
Okay, yeah.
There might be like 4 people watching, but it's still, it's me getting up on stage and performing. So you just do stuff like that, and then that's where you eventually get to the point you're eventually going to have to break this into a show, right? So that's when you hammock it, as we performers call it, between, it's like Mike would do it with stand-up comedy. Like if you have a new bit, you have a bit that always gets laughs, and then you have a bit that always gets laughs, and then you put this bit right between it that you've never really done before.
Right, yeah.
And that's how you, so you could go out there and you could hit a home run with it, and it's like, sweet, this is a great bit to keep into my act.
Right.
Or you can go out there and you can strike out, and then it's like, okay, well, at least I have a good bit coming up now. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. And, you know, as you know, most, maybe all of the listeners aren't magicians or mentalists.
No.
And so 2 things that you said really stood out to me that translate across any industry.
Sure.
And one of them was how you said, like someone else's shoes are not going to fit. You can only fit in your own shoes. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not going to.
I love that.
Yeah. Everyone has their own style of presentation.
Yes.
If you're going, and that's the thing, like, if you're not naturally a funny person, don't feel like, even if you have somebody that you love watching stand-up comedy or whatever it is, don't go up on stage and try to be like funny when you're not like a jokester. You know, everyone's funny in the right crowd, but it's like, if you don't see yourself as like being like a comedy kind of person, don't go up on stage and try to wear that different flavor, you know, like if you're more of like a serious person, everyone, when it comes to performing or being up on stage, I think that it's always really important to be yourself. It sounds like a cliche line, but the thing is, you are like a heightened version of yourself. But I think the term "be yourself" mostly comes from stick true to if you're more of a stoic person, be that kind of performer. If you're more of a goofy, lighthearted person, I consider myself to be that person. You just be like you're a more exaggerated version of yourself on stage. So
yeah,
I think that's really important to do.
Really that's so good. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I think people can tell when you are not being yourself, and no matter what you're doing, that's so important.
Audiences have an innate third eye, and now when it comes to people who are a little bit newer on stage, this is not going to be the best thing to hear, but audiences have this third eye where they can tell how comfortable you are and how much authority you have on stage without anything you say or do. It's just like this, your audience in their subconscious will have this real grasp of how happy and how much fun you are having on stage.
Yes.
And when I say fun, it means like just how much you're enjoying what it is you're doing. So something that I recommend everyone here that I do, and it changed my performing world. So something that I do right before I get on stage, this is from Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. He actually he talks about a magician in the book from like the 30s, Howard Thurston. He was in the Houdini era. And he used to emphatically say behind the curtain, I love my audience. I love my audience. And when you say that you say it out loud with passion.
Right.
And you would not believe how much that just changes the audience's perception of you. It'll change. If I've watched, because I always have a GoPro in the back for recording just for my own like film study.
Right.
And once I started saying that to myself backstage, you wouldn't believe how I could see it in myself, my physical demeanor. You know, it's just like my back's more erect. I'm just like, I'm genuinely like, I don't know, I'm looking around with a lot. It just changes. Like, it's they call it like a keystone habit, where it's almost like, you know, like when you start waking up early in the morning, a lot of other parts of your life will, like, other habits form a keystone habit. And that's a keystone habit to performing, is I think if you put yourself in like a real energetic, emphatic mindset before you get up on stage, no matter what it is you're doing, that will help you so much.
That's so good. That's so good. And honestly, that principle I found applies in a smaller manner. I know before we started recording, I told you that before I cold call, which is not terribly exciting or fun.
No, I can imagine.
I do my own version of that, which is I'm about to call my friend. I am friends with this person. I'm just calling them to see if I can help them. And my tone and my manner, and actually just even my attitude, and what I'm telling myself is very different. And I have a lot of success with it. So it's very similar, I think, and anybody can really take that principle, even if they're just walking into a room with their customers.
Going to a meeting, walking into a room, presenting to a group of 5 or 500. All of these things, I believe, just apply, generally speaking, to any sort of like performative, or because everything's a performance. Like, a cold call's a performance. You know, I perceive that as a performance. So any performance you do in life, I think that's the kind of thing that you should have, is like some sort of like anchoring moment that you do right before you get on the phone, before you walk into that restaurant where you're going to meet with a client, before you get up on stage. You're going to have some sort of just a real quick thing in your head that you can think that really can put you into that mindset. For me, is I love my audience. And I've done that now. And the thing is, too, once you get these kind of habits, it's really important to keep doing them. I've been doing that for years, and I still do it. I just did a show last weekend, and I still did it right before the show. I have a show next weekend, same thing. So it's really important, I think, to keep to not just do it when you're kind of getting into like maybe like speaking in front of groups that you don't know. Always do it. Do it forever. You're gonna do it forever. Do it for the rest of your life. Do it for the rest of your life. So it pays off a lot. And the thing is, I was gonna say another thing that audiences know, just kind of innately when you perform, is how calm you are up there. And the thing is, you kind of got to fake it until you make it. Go up there and just right before you get up on stage, take like a couple deep breaths and go up there, and then you have to, when you first start performing or presenting for large groups of people. I mean, you do Toastmasters. It's nerve-wracking. It's still nerve-wracking for me. It's not like I get up on stage and don't think about it anymore.
Right.
However, when it does just get easier. That knot that you have in your stomach that makes you, feel like Eminem palms are weak, palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, like that kind of thing will go away with time. Like anything with time, you do get more comfortable with it.
Right.
But I mean, hey, this any business owner in life knows that, especially when you're kind of starting out with like a new practice or a new thing, there's always some challenges. That's what get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that is getting on stage, man. That will definitely separate the adults from the kids as far as being able to just like get up on stage and put yourself out there.
Right. Because
another thing I'll say too is, at the end of the day, you probably are a lot better at performing or presenting than you think you are too. I don't know if you've ever found it that way. Because like when people,
I hear feedback, which is important to hear feedback when I'm in my own head.
Yes. A lot of people, when they perform or do anything in front of groups, they will always be their worst critic. Always.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So true.
When you get up on stage and perform for people, you're always going to think like, when 50% of the show, you think 50% of your presentation went wrong, in reality, it was probably only like 5 or 10%.
Okay, yeah, right. Because only you can really see that,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've done that with GoPros, with that GoPro footage I was mentioning.
Yeah.
I've had shows before where I thought I bombed. I thought it was horrible. I was going to have to get like a leather strip to bite on when I turned this on to review it. And then I watched it and I'm like, you know what? The laughs were a little bit better than I thought. And the crowd has their attention, so I have everyone's attention in the crowd. I mean, I was like, hey, that show I thought was like if I was grading it like a test, was like a 20% F. It was like, I'm more like maybe like a high D or a low C,
Right.
There's stuff to work on, but it's not nearly as bad as I initially thought. So when people get up, when people present, they should always keep that in mind, as you're not nearly as bad as your own critic in your head thinks.
Right, yeah. And I really like that you do record yourself and watch it later. I have known people that if they do get as far as recording themselves, they don't watch it later.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But the thing is, too, here's a good piece of advice. I don't record myself with video every time I perform. Now, I got this from a professional magician, because most magicians are guys, but there's this gal that I'm friends with. Her name's Carissa Hendricks. She's like a world famous magician as a woman, and she is also hilarious. She's hilarious. She has some of the best wit and improv in our performing world, and she has a voice recorder that she just sets down, and it's a lot easier to listen to yourself than it is to watch yourself necessarily.
Right.
Especially with what I'm doing. When you're doing entertainment, you have to do both. But if you don't like watching yourself like on video, you would not believe how much easier it is to just buy a little tape recorder and set that down, and then just go, and you can listen to it while you're driving, while you're on a walk, while you're working out. Go and listen to the audio of yourself. And it's a lot easier to stomach.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot easier.
Good advice. Yeah.
And you can hear, especially with like, if you're doing stuff, again, that involves comedy or laughter or response from the audience, you can really pick up on what parts work well and what parts don't work well because of that. Because that you're just listening to the audio. You're just listening to the audio of it. And it also helps a lot, too, if you're, let's say, presenting or doing some sort of presentation with like graphics and stuff like that. Imagine this. You're sitting and just listening to your presentation on audio only, and it makes perfect sense. That means that like half the job's done, because if what you're just saying paints the picture, then having all these visuals there will
just add to it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, the job is completely done, essentially.
Okay, yeah.
So if you hate watching yourself, you're not alone. Everyone does.
Yeah.
And everyone does. And what you should do is just get a tape recorder and then listen to yourself instead. And then that's a great way to review yourself without the cringe factor being as high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna implement that actually.
And yeah, I say voice recorders are how much these days? Like on Amazon, you can buy one for $4. You know, so
There's on your iPhone.
oh, on your phone, yeah, exactly.
There's one.
If you need, but now if you need your phone for something too, always
that's true.
I just use a tape like a voice recorder.
Oh yeah.
And then you have like there's free apps called like Audible or not like Audacity or something like that you can just download and put on your computer. So it's a very inexpensive option too to be able to review your performance. So
yeah,
highly recommend it. Highly recommend it for anybody.
Yeah. Now you are in such a unique, you have such a unique career.
Yeah.
What has been one of your obstacles in launching this career for yourself? I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you come up with your own content, you market yourself. I mean,
it is a one-man
do it
shop.
all.
Yeah.
So what's one of those major obstacles and how did you overcome that?
So you're always finding new ones. The biggest one for me has always been because magician, especially when I was more just a magician than a mentalist too, it was going to people and saying, hey, I am a magician and you should hire me because this is going to be great for your party, of adults.
Right.
Because the thing is, magician, as much as like I think the art of magic has taken a bit of a renaissance in recent years, like I feel like people consider it cooler. There is always a bit of a stigma to it. It's kind of dorky. It's a magician would be great at my kid's birthday party or something like that.
Right.
And you don't necessarily you want to sell it a lot more like I do this for adults and for companies in more serious situations.
Right.
So marketing is like getting in front of people was a big hurdle, and it still is to this day sometimes.
Right.
And then once I get in front of people, being able to relay it to them in a way that makes them go, okay, I do want to pay you this money to come here and perform for us. The second part, I think, was a huge benefit was changing my angle of how I presented my show to people. So let's say I'm going to use a generic name, Jane. Let's say Jane wants to hire me for an event. I used to say to Jane, I do these great shows and I do these great mind reading, I do these great illusions, I do this, I do that, I do this.
Right.
I started changing it, and I was talking a lot more about, Jane, people are going to remember your event for years to come because of this. People are going to think you did a great job with this. I turned it around, and I made it's more what's in it for her. What's in it for me in hiring you?
Right.
And that was definitely a big change for me, was how I presented it a lot more to the benefit of my clients. And that was definitely a huge part, and that was a couple years ago. I changed and started approaching it more that way. But my show also is a lot more about my audience members. Like I mentioned, I don't make fun of people in my shows. A lot of magicians, there's kind of like a cliche that magicians make fun of people and stuff like that. I don't do that at all.
Right.
I hate it when people do that.
Yeah.
You like bring somebody up on stage. We've been talking for the last half an hour about the nerves that people have up in front of people.
Right.
And so for these performers, whether it be a comedian or a comedian is a little different because people know that they might get roasted a little bit. But at like a company event, I've seen performers do this. They welcome somebody up onto the stage. The person probably doesn't want to go up on stage to begin. And then you're going to make them look like a joke for the benefit of your show in front of all these people. I just think it's pretty disingenuous. So, and that's my personal opinion. Some people can get away with it and they do a great job at it. I know I would just look like a real jerk.
Yeah.
To say to be politically correct with it or to be clean with it. I would just be like a real jerk if I did that. So I always try to have my shows be like how I present. I started changing my marketing. I really changed my show to be a lot about the audience's experience. If they remember me and they remember my name, that's wonderful. But more in 5 years, it's a pleasure, and it's a real pleasure and a blessing if people can remember me and what I did in the show. But more than anything, I want them to remember like the interactions amongst each other. Oh, remember when John came up on stage and had to draw something. Oh yeah, but then Phil did this and that. And, I want it to be a lot more about their experience.
Right. Yeah.
And
I love that. It's one of those where, people say they won't remember what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, the better the more impressive the magic is, the
right.
better. Yeah, the better. I want to go up on stage, and I am being hired to do a real kick-ass show.
Yeah.
But I also, at the same time, it is all about. I'm in a really unique situation because what I do is not like just me standing up on stage. Is not like a band where you go and listen to the band. I have the opportunity that I can interact with people, whether it be in the crowd or on stage with me in my show.
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to always, feel empowered and, to definitely feel a lot more comfortable and confident even on stage with me after they get off versus when they came on.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always work this way, but there's been a number of people who in my show they look like they're like, you got to be kidding me. This guy's calling on me. Like, they think I'm just going to bring them up there and make fun of them. But then when they're getting off stage, like, they have a smile on their face and they're getting a round of applause and stuff like that.
I bet that's really fun to see the transformation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even just in a moment, people can go from feeling, just like almost like shaky nervous to one round of applause or one little bit of laughter, not at their expense, but just kind of like with it, like laughing with them, not at them.
Yeah.
People can just really warm up and light up. And I mean, the same applies to me. When I get up on stage, like I mentioned, I'm still nervous. I still have adrenaline going through me when I get up on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get that first real good round of applause or that first really good line of laughter or like that bit of laughter in there, I mean, you just feel, it's like you feel all those nerves and like that tension just melt away.
Yeah.
And that's just always been a wonderful thing to me in performing is when you can just kind of get out there and break the ice a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Break the ice a bit.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all people I think need, because some people are more afraid of performing or being on stage in front of a large group of people than death itself. And so oh yeah, so and it takes time. Like, it takes time, but
it does.
But when you get up there and you realize that everyone wants to see you succeed and everyone wants to, enjoy your presence on stage, it can really, and then you get that little bit of, smiles from the crowd or whatever it might be, that little bit of warmth from the crowd. It can really just help empower you to not be as nervous.
Right.
Is great.
That is so awesome. I'm wondering, because obviously you're in the entertainment industry, but this is actually something that would translate to also in a service provider. But have you had to kind of work through your value and not like undervaluing yourself as far as when you're getting hired or marketing yourself?
100%, 100%. The thing is, too, with entertainers, and I can only speak really to like the magician and mentalist market because I've never been hired to do comedy or music or whatever. But a lot of times people can really devalue themselves, especially in this market. I still get leads for shows and it's like I have to drive down to Roseburg and perform for $70, and it's like, I'm at one point in time I would have done it, but as you start performing and getting bigger and stuff like that, you start raising your rates, and you'd be surprised too sometimes when people are like, that's a little bit out of my budget. And then you're like, okay, well, here's a couple people I'd recommend, and if you guys, if anything changes in your budget, let me know. Oh, go look at my reviews, go look at my news spots, stuff like that. And
I mean, you get what you pay for, and it's
and you don't want to take a chance with your good entertainment. I'm not gonna sit here and try to say like, oh, I charge so much, but it's like good entertainment ain't cheap, and cheap entertainment ain't good. So I will let people know, hey, this is kind of what I charge for an event like this. I wish you the best of luck. And some people can't afford it. I don't want people to go into the red on an event to hire me. But then a lot of times people might turn around a couple days later, like, okay, we've been able to finagle our budget a little bit better, and we can bring you on. But and I think that, and that just goes with, because there's a few people in Oregon who are, I would say, like, corporate event entertainers and stuff like that do what we do.
Right.
They're good mentors to me. Hart Keene, Craig Martin, Scott Anderson. Those guys are kind of like the big three in Oregon, and then there's like me. Those guys all
big four then.
Yeah, big four. Oh yeah. Well, those guys all travel the world and have been doing this for 20-something years.
Right.
Been on America's Got Talent and stuff like that. And so they saw potential that I had, and they just brought me in under their wing, so to speak.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's great. They're wonderful. And there's other guys too, but those are the big three that I think stand out. And there's a guy I actually live with. Little would you know, Salem has one of the world's most sought after cruise ship entertainers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He's a comedy magician. Yeah. He used to open for Weird Al.
Oh, no way.
But the thing is, you would never know because he likes his peace and quiet at home.
Yeah.
And he also is on the ocean half the time.
Yeah.
Or more. He's only in Salem for like
great roommate.
Yeah, he's a great and he's owned his house outright for 20 years or something like that. So he's I it's a nice at the end of a block. A real nice roommate. And when he is home too, it's like he's on the other end of the house.
Yeah.
So he's a great roommate to have.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah. And they all teach me a lot, and I've kind of formulated my own opinions, because sometimes my favorite thing is when one of them says like point A and the other one will say like point B. And then so I need to come to the conclusion on who they kind of will disagree with each other on things, and it's up to me to determine then, well, how would I go about this? Because mentors aren't meant to just be like Bibles. It's not like, okay, what you tell me is truth no matter what.
Yeah.
You have to reflect on it, and you have to but they've all helped me out a lot, and yeah, they helped me turn from the big three into the big four.
Yeah. So, I love it. That's so awesome.
And they've they're all kind of like we've been talking about with performing on stage. They all are they all agree with what I would say when it comes to performing on stage. Make sure that you just get yourself into a great mindset before you get up on stage, as well as when you are on stage, just try your very best to know that everyone wants you to succeed, and to just take a breath, because you're doing a lot better than you realize.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot better than you realize when you go up and do a presentation or perform for people.
Right.
Because nobody thinks is easy. Nobody's sitting there scolding you. Even if you slip up for a second and your mind goes blank, anyone who goes up on stage has that happen to them.
Right.
So, don't feel like people are judging you for it. Ever.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, before we wrap up, which I know there's actually one more thing before we wrap up too, but what is a piece of advice or just one, tool or strategy or just really anything that you can offer to the listeners that really translate to anybody?
So I would say that something that I would recommend when it comes to getting up on stage and getting comfortable being in front of a large group of people is know that as long as you're prepared for it, people want to see you succeed. You're going to be doing way better than you think. And right before you get up on stage, like we said about your mindset, make sure that you say whatever your own terminology would be for this, say, I love my audience. And this is all part of the process.
Right.
So that's what I always say when I get up on stage, and it helps out tremendously. And I recommend that anyone watching this, have yourself some sort of anchoring phrase in your mind that you say, and it'll just make you feel so much more confident getting up on stage. Like, I love my audience, or something like that. It goes a long way.
Yeah. That's such good advice.
Yeah, I'm glad you think so. Yeah, say somebody like you who gets up on the stage and performs for people, or presents for people too. So. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And now I just want to know what you had me write down.
Okay, well, no, so because so this is for Mike, because of course Mike watches all your podcasts, right? So
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, no, so Mike, I asked if Mike would know the name of your first pet, right?
Right.
And you said probably not.
Right.
And so there's no way I could have texted Mike before this, like, hey, Mike, what's the name of Jordan's first pet, or anything like that, right? Nobody would have known that. So do you think, would anybody that there's no one that I would be able to reach out to that would know this info,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'm going to have you do, think of the name of your first pet.
Okay.
Okay. Just envision it.
Okay.
Think of the first letter only.
Okay.
What's the first letter? Say it out loud.
J.
Like that?
What?
First J? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
I'm freaked out, but I'm very impressed.
J. Because was this a cat?
Yes.
It was a cat. Was it kind of like a fluffy cat? Or was it a little bit more less fur? Like kind of like a normal, like it was a fluffy cat?
It wasn't too fluffy.
Not too fluffy,
Not
okay.
too fluffy.
Okay. I'm committed. Putting the
Okay.
pen down. You thought of the name of your first pet.
Uh-huh.
And you didn't, it's important that all the listeners at home realize you and I did not set this up beforehand or anything like that. Okay, so what's the name of your first pet? Say it out loud.
Jet.
Jet? Like Jet or two T's?
2 T's, like Joan Jett.
Oh, okay. That's good because that's what I wrote down too.
What the? I'm done. That's so crazy. How did you do that? I literally wrote that down earlier.
Hey, Alex, what's up, man?
I did. I wrote it down earlier. Nobody except my mom knows this. Only my mom knows this. That's crazy. Okay, everybody that is watching this, hire Finn. He's crazy.
I will
That
come and
was
read your mind.
brilliant, right there.
Okay, perfect. Well, yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
All right, perfect. Here you go. Keep that.
I will. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I can't wait to show this to Mike. What the heck? Everyone. Well, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun.
All right,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, thank you very much for
That
having
was
me, Jordan.
crazy. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, talk to you
Oh,
next
how
time.
can people find you?
Oh, FinnJoseph.net.
Okay.
Or at FinnJosephMagic on any of my socials.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Finn.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, SMI Real Estate and Saltwater Wellness, for sponsoring this episode.